child for life if you do this. So the amount of guilt a woman feels when she is having a child, and what if I do this? If I do this, what will happen to the child? You know, that kind of a fear, if I was in that place, I too would have been like Deepa. I said, I'm going to have a child. I don't know.
Sorry, I had to reveal that.
You know, my father was a member of the Communist Party, and we were living in a commune. Till the age of 9, I used to live in a 180 square foot room, which was given to 8 families. But there were people like Sardar Japti, Kefi Azmi, etc. We had one toilet and one bathroom for 8 families. So obviously, money wasn't in my father's pocket. So I think they decided that they should put me in a Urdu medium government school when I was 3. So I would try every single day and drag my feet, not want to go to school at all. And when my first term results came, I got 0 in every single subject. That must be a record of kinds also. Now look at this mother of mine. I mean, it was really amazing, her observation. She said, my child is not a duffer. If she's got 0 in every single subject, she's protesting. Can you imagine for her to have that understanding? And she said she's protesting and we have to pull her out of that school. I mean, isn't it amazing? Absolutely, really.
It's a wonderful aspect of motherhood. Maitri, one of the things that I wanted to ask and which I put right at the outset is why the oldest love story? Why?
It is Rinky's idea. We had some working titles, and then I said, what do we do? And all kinds of combinations, they all sounded very convoluted and weird. Then Rinky came up. You talk about it.
Please, Rinky.
No, Rinky is at the credit for the title, and the cover picture goes to Rinky. She is.
I don't remember, it just came spontaneously to me. I mean, can there be any other love story older than mother and child? I don't think so. I seriously don't think whether I love my children, don't love my children, it's immaterial. But I don't think there is any other love story as old as the mother and child. Not that, am I right or not? Yes? You know, I have been an art critic for many years, and every artist is trying to make a mother and child, especially the male artists. They've always drawn mother and child. You know, it's intrinsic in us. And that's, of course, another, maybe there's some other story in that, but I don't think there's another older love story than mother and child. Seriously.
And,
am I right or not?
And since you're calling it the oldest love story,
All of them have happened to be women. And Saeed's story, I fell in love with it when it came out. And Jennifer very kindly said it. I was hospitalized and I was just recovering at home. That was the time I read, I don't know, finish a book in 2 days. And I said, this is wow. Then he said, I asked him, will you write? He said, take some from it. And there are so many other lovely incidents that we said, okay, we thought we can't let it go on too long. So here's another recommendation, go and buy Saeed's book and read that also. And another thing that, maybe that we felt that men do not be able to be that objective about their mothers. And maybe the fear of the Oedipal complex was there somewhere, that they may not be able to see their mother. And, because many of the women writers have been able to see their mother, not their mother, like I said, but as women in particular circumstances, shape them into what they were. And it was also like a historical record. followed by a self-portrait. We didn't want to have, just the dry biographical details of the writers, because these are personal essays. We said that you write a self-portrait of yourself at the end of each essay. So Shabana's is brilliant. So I request, this is my personal farmaish that you read, you read that. Okay, please.
We can't have enough of you reading.
When Javed and I were getting married, a wise old aunt said to him, "Watch Shokataba closely. If you like her, marry Shabana. Because with age, the wife grows to be exactly like her mother." I think Javed was shortchanged, poor fellow. Because although I've started bearing a striking resemblance to Mum, she was a much more evolved person than I am. She was wise. I continue to be impetuous. She was very forgiving. I tend to be so, not because I'm compassionate, but because I have such a weak memory that I forget and so forgive. She had one big weakness though, and that was her love for saris. I often used to tease her that if there was a competition, the sari would win over her love for cafe. She had started writing memoirs when Abba was alive. After he passed away, she couldn't bring herself to write a word. After much coaxing and cajoling from Javed, she picked up her pen again and completed Yaad Ki Reh Guzar. It has been translated into Marathi, Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil, Japanese and English. It was selected by 14 universities in the USA for referential reading in the South Asian departments, for recreating the history of those times in a voice that is distinctly female. Amartya Sen was kind enough to write a blurb for its English translation, Kafi and I by Nasreen Rahman. And this is what he said: "To say that this is a lovely book would be an understatement. It is an enchanting recollection of the life of a hugely talented and sensitive human being shared with a great poet. They were united not only by love and marriage, but also by an individually assessed joint commitment to social change, artistic creativity, and personal and political ethics." In this excellent translation, we have a lively account of an important part of Indian history, fired by sympathy, inspiration, and imagination, but tempered by the hardship of reality. Excitedly, I rushed to her room to give her the news. "Who's Amartya Sen?" she asked. I proceeded to tell her that he's a Nobel laureate, a world-famous economic, etc. Duly impressed, she said, "वो तो बहुत बड़े हुए आदमी ना, बड़े आदमी हुए ना." I said, and she clapped her hands in delight. That evening, she came back home armed with 16 saris that she had bought at one go. 16 saris. I exclaimed, "Mummy, in my life, I have never bought 16 saris at one time." Back came her cocky answer: "In your life, Amartya Sen has not praised you either." Till afterwards, she didn't know who he was. This is... It's very short now. I am cut from the same cloth as her, but who am I? I would say I'm a woman, an Indian, a wife, an actress, a Muslim, an activist, etc. My being Muslim is only one aspect of my identity. But today it seems as though concerted effort is being made to compress identity into the narrowed confines of the religion one was born into, at the absence of all other aspects. This is not the truth about India. India's greatest truth is her composite culture. The Kashmiri Hindu and the Kashmiri Muslim have much more in common with each other because of the Kashmirian than a Kashmiri Muslim and a Muslim from Tamil Nadu, in spite of them sharing a common religion. To me, my cultural identity is much stronger than my religious identity. I love the Urdu language. I enjoy eating biryani. I revel in wearing a gharara. But I don't read the Quran or offer namaz. So what does it make me? Figure it out. And next time you rush to stereotype a community, remember that a civilized society must not look for homogeneity in the garb of nationalism. My mother taught me that identity must not be a melting pot in which individual identities are submerged. It should be a beautiful mosaic in which each part contributes to a larger whole, different but equal.
One final thing before we have the audience with a question. I'm sure all of you are eager to ask. Sarojji, since you are also here, if there is a little that you could talk about. Okay. In that case, I'll open up the floor to the audience. If any one of you has any questions for Meenakshi.
Rita said a little while ago, there was a stunning chapter by Sima Bhaskar which talked about the absolute horror, the revulsion, the guilt, and a mixture of many things of the kind of son which she produced because of some incidents that happened. And I had somehow a strange, odd feeling that there's probably different variations of this were happening with different mothers in different ways and different intensities, but they're probably far more common than one imagines. So I wondered if there was a comment.
You want to? Okay. I won't comment on her essay, but what I feel is what has happened is that there seems to be kind of a conspiracy to pin the woman or the mother with all responsibility for children of the family, and we seem to equate words like sacrifice, kindness, compassion, generosity on the woman and by association the mother, which almost seems.
I haven't read any stories, but we are all trying to somewhere, make our mothers into backbones or whatever. Is there any story which says where a child hasn't been loved by the mother? I mean, a mother hasn't lived up to her own role as a mother and made her child feel unwanted also to some extent. So, I mean, any comments on that kind of a situation? Anyone can answer.
Shashi's, yeah, Shashi. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Or easy was it to be a mother to Mr. Javed Akhtar's children?
I was very fortunate because their mother, Honey, I'm sure, you see, when you are in a situation of the kind that I was in, it's very painful. Only the three people who are involved know what it's about. But what she did do is, at no point did she fill the children's ears about me, which was really generous of her. And I think in the beginning they did struggle a little bit because they didn't obviously want to call me auntie, and they didn't certainly want to call me mummy too or whatever. And so I remember Farhan was very small, and at one point I said, why don't you just call me Shabana? And I could see that he was really something as simple as that. And to this date, they call me Shabana. And I have the relationship, which is very beautiful, with both the children. And when Zoya speaks about it, she says that obviously in the beginning there was a lot of resentment, and but she said that because I didn't push, I didn't try to please, I sort of left them and let them develop their own equation before they were ready to accept me. It's a very beautiful relationship, but really I give Honey the most credit, then Javed, and then myself.
I think that's all for the evening. It's been a lovely, lovely evening. And thank you once again, Ajay. Thank you for publishing. Any more questions you have?
Ringidi, I'm Kankana Basu. And
That just happens to be, people's way of seeing me. Of course, they describe me as somebody's daughter, but I think I would like to be known as myself to be. Who am I? So, somebody wanted me to sign their book, and I said, please stop being a mother, And that lady was, absolutely, pouring with mother. I said, just stop being a mother. And I wrote it and signed by this thing. I said, of course, we have to stop being a mother sometimes, So today I'm myself. And of course, I love being my father's daughter. I love being my mother's daughter. There's no question about it. Two iconic people. My mother is lesser known than my father. She's a fantastic photographer, one of the greatest photographers ever born in India, one of the earliest photographers. And there's going to be a show of her portraits in Delhi very soon. So I'm a very, very proud daughter.
Thank you, Kitty. Thank you, all of you. Ajay, thanks for bringing this out. And Matthew and Kitty, thanks again for trusting us with it. Shabana, thank you so much for coming here directly from your shoot. We can't be grateful enough for that. Deepa, thank you so much. Sarojji and Urmilaji. And so many friends I'm meeting after a long time. Gajra is here, Satya is here, Shrishti is here. So it's like quite overwhelming to be here with all of you. Please buy the book and tell your friends and acquaintances to buy the book. 1,000 likes on a Facebook doesn't. It's only 295. Yeah, it's only 295 rupees. 1,000 likes on a Facebook doesn't mean anything if 1,000 copies are not sold. Please, the publishing industry is going through very bad times. It's readers who will make the industry bounce back. So thank you all for this evening and have a good weekend.
आप थोड़ा पीछे हो जाओ ना नीचे
Lots of you. You should sit on your lap. Lap and you Eight, 6 and 7.
And I've been with them ever since. I've been met them at Stanford,
No, at Berkeley.
And
कैमरा लेके आ
अनुजा जी थोड़ा पीछे
थोड़ा पीछे जना घूम दे
पकड़े ले अब बदू थोड़ा आपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करे वाइट ले
यहाँ रखना घूम यहाँ रखना
where is he now? And he's doing production design?
Not now. He started directing Bengali films. At the moment he's not very well, so he's taking it easy.
Oh, why?
Kidney problems and
ऐसा बीच में खड़ा रहना and कैमरे से करेक्ट
say about the book. The book is looking very good. What do you want to say?
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये एक ऐसा विषय है जो सब लोगों के लिए बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होगा और जहाँ तक मेरा सवाल है मेरा जो रिश्ता है वो अपने पिताजी अपने अब्बा कैफी आज़मी के बारे में लोग बहुत ज़्यादा जानते हैं लेकिन मेरा रिश्ता अपनी मम्मी शौकत कैफी से भी बहुत गहरा हाँ और मेरे
कोई ऐसा विषय जो काफी आपको अच्छा लगा any lesson that you would like to share?
क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये किताब इसलिए बहुत खूबसूरत है क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं है कि ये सिर्फ मीठी मीठी बातें हैं कुछ मीठी बातें हैं कुछ कड़वी बातें भी हैं कुछ कुछ मदरहुड को एग्जामिन करने वाली भी हैं, मगर ज़िंदगी की सच्चाई को समझने वाली हैं. तो मुझे लगता है ये सब लोगों को बहुत
And ma'am,
पसंद
you have written in this book. Tell us something about the experience of writing, and you have written. Tell us something about it. Oh, bye.
You know, he's asking me the same questions I've already. Now you ask him. Okay. He doesn't know anything.
That's all true.
I think for the finest actresses that India has ever produced, has such a big stage.
That's so kind.
I love you for your acting. I watch Masu and comedy just for
That's so kind.
I miss you in all my years.
एक सवाल. Ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, a seat please.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, you do mind a seat please?
And this is for you. I'm also an author. This is my book of poems and poetry.
Thank
I
you.
met Javed ji in the Pune Lit Fest. I written a book about the serial killers of India. I don't know whether he shared it with you or not.
No.
So I thought this is something a gentle soul will enjoy rather than the serial killers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Please.
Ma'am. Ma'am, recently, ma'am, KK award demise, what do you want to say about it? Ma'am?
I've already written.
Yes,
She needs
now
to
it's
write
my turn.
in this.
Ma'am,
Right. Yeah.
Shabana ma'am. Ma'am.
I'll just do it.
Thank you. That's mine.
My camera got over.